3D printer video update. Okay, for those that have been watching, I do apologise for the long delay in posting another video, but I've moved house and built a new shed and new shed base and loads of other things going on, so it's been quite difficult to devote any time to this project, and make a video on it has been almost impossible. So anyway, I've moved and I've got a new shed set up, and I've got the printer in the shed at the moment, just so I'm still working on it. So here we are at the moment, and this is as far as I've got. So it is a working printer now. It's not by any means finished. Lots of things are temporary. The limit switches are just standard limit switches. It's not insulated yet. That's a standard cooling fin. My own heater though, so that's a 100-watt heater this time. I've made it a bit smaller so it takes up less space, but the camera won't focus. It's not complete. But yeah, same as the bed. It's only a 200mm platform at the moment. It's a Mark III heated bed. It will be a 300 square platform when it's finished, but this is just, I got impatient really and just wanted to start printing something, so I threw it together and put the nozzle on and just set it up as it is now. All this back here is all just temporary really. The spool holder's just, the spool sorry, is just sat there, the reel. That lot's just temporary, just to hold it safely out of the way so it doesn't get damaged. With an all important kill switch for the very first of setting things up, because it doesn't always work obviously. But here's the basics of the Core XY. It's a geared system. So the NEMA 17s are, as I originally said, behind the bulkhead. All the steppers are behind this bulkhead in the cool zone out of the way. That's the X and that's the Y. There's the two extruder drives which pass up through the roof, and yeah, so there's where the NEMA comes through, and then it goes onto this shaft. That's a 20, that's a 40 on an 8mm shaft, supported on a bearing, and a bearing there. I haven't cut this shaft down yet either, so it really is sort of thrown together at the moment. This one's all cut down and finished off. But basically it's a tensioner. If I can get it to focus. So all it is geared down 2 to 1 really. And then by doing this it's allowed me to get a nice amount of tension on here without overloading these 5mm shafts, but be able to put an extreme amount of tension on here without really overloading anything. These are just temporary until I've got some blocks to fit in here with adjustment, so it's not quite perfect and there is a little bit of flex in these brackets, so that's not great, but it works. It's only testing. I've put this bracket on up here at the moment, just temporary, to hold all this until I probably print something to hold this and get a lid on. And yeah, it's all a bit temporary, but I got impatient and I had to print something, so yeah, there it is. It is rather large and it's rather heavy. yeah, the heavy bit of it is probably not great because it means moving the thing is very awkward. It's almost a two-person lift, but there are obviously reasons for this. This will all be insulated and have doors on, and it's going to be even heavier then, so it's going to be interesting. But anyway, so there we are. That's what we've got, and let's actually home it and see what happens. I'm just going to home. Not the fastest of feed rates at the moment, just on the cautious side more than anything. And we are home. The bed is hot. I'm printing ABS, obviously. I've not even tried PLA through here. The only thing I've put through is ABS, and I've only printed about 4 things so far. 3 of those were failures, and the 4th item I've just sort of finished now. But it was just more of a test than anything. Whether I'm going to use it, I'm not sure. I can't really see. So there it is. This is off of Thingiverse. It's a fan, 40mm fan mount for an E3D, but yeah, I probably won't use it. It's just really to test it for now. Still got some things to tweak, so yeah, still learning at the moment, but that's my 4th print, so not too bad. It didn't really warp, so it's okay. There's a little bit on that corner, a little bit on that corner and that corner. It looks like it's curled up a little bit, but it stayed flat, which is good. So yeah, 4th print. I'm now going to try and print something to hold the spool with. It's a spool holder, or reel holder, off of Thingiverse. Low friction spool holder by Sneaky Poo. I believe Sneaky Poo does some quite good models, and yeah, this looks quite good, so let's try one of those. It's just really to get the reel out of the way, so it's not just sitting there. There's room for 2 reels to sit just below the extruder stepper motors. So let's make a holder and sit it there. This one is actually for to fit on a printer. There is this bracket here that's not going to suit what I need, but I will modify that when I get to that bit to make it fit mine. But the rest of that looks good, so yeah, I'm going to try printing that. So I've sliced it, and it's in pronto face, and there we are, ready to go. 80 degrees on the bed, 232 on the nozzle, and let's see what happens. So it's just going to extrude some filament. I had the first settings I had for this extruder were completely wrong. Not only were the micro step-ins wrong, but yeah, this is one thing you should take your time to set up correctly, and that is the extruder. Everything on this board I've set up for 16 micro step-in, not 32. I can go to 32, but yeah, I'm going to try it at 16 for a minute, just for a speed issue of what I've been reading about Marlin and Arduino, and especially the, you know, these 80 Mega 256 chips. They're sort of pushed almost to their limit running these things, and asking for 32-bit microstepping is probably on the edge of what it can cope with. But I am looking at maybe a smoothie board with the faster processor, the 32-bit processor. But for now, this will get me running and just get it, learn what I'm doing, I suppose. Anyway, heat bed's up to temperature, nozzle's up to temperature, extruded. Let's hit. Let's see what happens. Nothing's happening at the minute. There we go. And down goes the brim. I've set a large brim and a very wide brim and a perimeter just to make sure that this goes down and stays down. And I'm only, that's just PET tape, sorry, Kapton tape, lightly sanded with 1200 grit, and then a quick wipe with some isopropanol. So that's all I'm using for a surface. I'm just going to shut this, keep the heat in. It's not full speed, it's only 71%, and I've not set this print up to be very fast. Not until I've tuned things a bit better and made sure everything's okay will I start speeding this up any further. It will go a lot faster, but for now let's play it safe. So yeah, anyone who's thinking about building their own printer, well, if you've got it in your head that you want to build one, or you want one that will print ABS and print quite large, then you've got two options really, and that's spend a large amount of money or build one. There are some excellent printers on the market that I can see. The Up Mini 2, that looks ever so good. Is it the Tivo Black Widow? I mean, that looks a very nice printer, but it's not enclosed. So yeah, for me, I'm glad that I've decided to build this. It's still only £300 or £400 spent. It's not a huge amount. I've got a lot of scope to make this better. It's nowhere near what I want yet, but I'm printing with it. So for probably about £300 spent so far, I think it's worth the effort and the money. So yeah, if you're thinking of doing it, and you've got the time and the patience, and you know you like tinkering with things, then just go ahead and start one. If you don't like making things and messing things and trying to work out problems and fault find and go from one problem to another problem, then no, don't make one, just go and buy one. But for me, I think the experience of building one gives you a better knowledge of how it works, and it's your own, isn't it then? So anyway, back to where we are. Let's have a look at this print. As I say, that's a huge brim. That's definitely staying down, that's for sure. I have got the bed to lift to 70 degrees after the first layer, but I might tweak that back up to 80, just because it is a larger print than what I've just printed. But that's definitely going down and looks good. So yeah, when I do get round to it, this will be a water-cooled block inside. None of that will be there. That nozzle will be right up higher up here. There'll be no fan blowing air around inside because it'll be water-cooled. And yeah, we'll see what happens, go from there. This is looking promising. I might actually just put a cover over that just to try and keep some of the water heat in. I'm not doing very well one-handed. To stop this and put it on. But there we go. This my 3D printer is actually printing, and this will be my 5th print. So thanks for watching. We'll try and get another video out later this week, and hopefully made some progress and learned a bit more. But yeah, hopefully for those that have been watching, this should be a positive sign that, you know, anyone can do this if they've got a bit of time and they're willing to learn. So onward and upward, and let's get printing. Thank you. Cheers guys.